In my last video, I covered how to make a beginner's steam boiler setup and showed a design for a kind of a small house to go with it. This system can be made in the first few days of the survival world, and it will enable you to start your first create workshop, a little bit like this one I designed in a server with some friends. For me personally, I was really proud of this because I really like my machines to be fast and efficient, so I don't have to waste as much time and I can get back to building faster. You do need to take into account that the faster your machines run, the higher the stress on your system will be. So for the build I'm going to be showcasing and designing today, I'll be powering it solely using the starter boiler that we made last video to kind of show that you can build these hand in hand together for a perfect start to your create mod survival. So the workshop I'll be showing how to build has a number of machines to make your life easier. It needs to feature a sawmill to strip your logs and give you those sweet bonus planks, which can be game changing when you're first starting a world. It also has a press for making your metal plates, as well as a mixer to make your first brass ingots. Now, you've got to bear in mind that to make the brass ingots, you actually need to heat your basin with a blaze burner. And you can get one of those by capturing a blaze inside an empty blaze burner by right-clicking on a blaze mob or directly onto the blaze spawner itself. Next up is a bulk smelter, used to smelt masses of items much quicker than a furnace ever could. This is one of my favourite features of the Create mod. Being able to smelt entire shulk boxes of items in just under a minute or something, depending on how good you make this thing, is nuts. I love these things. I did really struggle to make this work without filters, however. So I'm going to do another video in future where I make a non-brass early game one of these, but for now you're going to have to use your blaze burner setup from earlier to kind of make the brass needed for the funnels to make this work. Lastly, you're going to need more of that brass to make the crushing wheels, because you need to set yourself up some mechanical crafters, which aren't really that hard to use. You just got to make the right shape that it shows on the crafting recipe, and then stick all the items in. It's as simple as that. As long as all the arrows are pointing towards one central block, they should all flow to the middle and then eventually turn into your crushing wheel. And of course, you can't forget, you've got to have some nice little shelves for your toolboxes. If you're not using toolboxes, you're a sucker. These things are great. Anyway, enough waffling on. It's tutorial time. So there's a little bit of prep work that's actually going to go into this. You can see I've already laid out where I want our building to go. This is kind of being built in conjunction with the boiler we made last time. So provided that you have built this already, we're going to come from the back corner here. We're going to go one block back from our granite. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks like this. Then have a granite. So this is going back just one here like this. And then from this corner, we're going to go 1 and another granite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam, bam. Do the same again. And we're pretty much just going to follow this round all the way. And just doing granite on all of the corners. And then bringing it back into the front here. So this is how it's going to look finally. So you can pause the video here and blah, blah, blah. You don't want to take out your floor in the building and dig down couple blocks. So it's kind of one of the more important things in Create, I find, to making things look good, is kind of hiding a lot of your random shaft work and just cogs and stuff underground where you can. So you can see I've already dug out a pretty big space here. I pretty much just dug out the entire chunk here. You can see this is all on chunk borders, plus a little extra so we can connect it to our other thing here. So now you've kind of done all your prep work for your thing. You've got your space dug out below. You've got your floors in. You've got your foundation laid down. It's time to kind of start the process of the workshop. Now, the first problem we've got to deal with is you can see the output of the boilers here is really slow. And we don't want that. We want this workshop to be fast and snappy. We want to be able to process stuff as quickly as possible so we can get back out there to do our other projects. So there is two main ways we can increase the speed that these cogs are spinning. One of them is to do this trick we've seen already, where we put a large cog onto a big cog, and then we just repeat this process a couple times until eventually, you know, this cog goes super fast. Like, let me just womp, bump, bump, bump. And now this guy is spinning at max speed. But of course, this is a pretty big and clunky thing to build. I mean, you can make it look relatively okay if you have the space for it, like I did here in the test world. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to use one of these rotational speed controllers. These can be pretty nasty to make. The precision mechanisms, you got to do some deployer action onto a conveyor belt with the items. That's a whole thing that I don't really want to get into. So, you know, if you want to do it this way with the cogs, or if you want to spend the time and get yourself a precision mechanism, they're definitely a lot more difficult to make, but they are so much better, and they're really compact. You are able to control the exact speed to the singular digits of like how fast this thing spins. But I'm going to set this to max at 256, and this is what we're going to build our workshop off of. So before we can run any shafts anywhere, we've got to make sure that we know what we actually want to put in this thing. So here I've kind of planned out, these are the things that I think we should put in this thing. So we want to have a press for making plates, a whisk, a saw, a bulk smelter, and the crushing wheels, exactly like we saw in the test world. So I think to start with, I'm going to go with the presses and the mixers. I think we're going to probably put these things... Okay, so I've placed these one block in front of the wall, so we have some space behind to kind of hook up the shafts here. I think, so for the presses, we're going to go just shaft upwards into a vertical gearbox, and they're just going to point straight into those. The mixers, I think we'll just do something like this. Alright, so we've kind of just run a shaft around the edge of this space here. I think what I might just do is, I think I can get away with this. Oh, that actually worked. Okay, I was not expecting that to work. Yeah, so we can just do like a combination of gearboxes like this. So we just have 4 regular ones, 4 vertical, and then that goes up directly into our machines here. And those cables are going wild. Woo. A good thing to note is we're actually going to want to have these to be heated, so we're going to put some blaze burners here, and then some stairs in front of this to... like that. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. For the mechanical saw, I think we're going to put it in the middle of this little 2x5 area here. Yeah. So we're going to do 2 belts either side. Yep. And then, just while I'm kind of thinking about how I want to do this, I want to show one of the little issues that you can have while making a sawmill setup like this. So I've just run a chain drive along the back. We're going to set this to a decently fast speed. The middle sawmill here needs to spin the opposite direction to the way the belts are going. And that kind of sounds confusing, but I'll just show you quickly. So it's going across this way, right? You can see the logs go backwards across the sawmill, which is very strange. I only noticed this recently. So we're going to disconnect that, right? And we'll reconnect it with a minus speed. And you can see now it's working. Now this one's negative and this one's positive. It's such a strange little feature. I don't know why they did this. I mean, maybe it's something to do with the way the saw blade is spinning, but for me, I just kind of like it if you could just hook it up with a chain drive like this. It feels weird that you have to flip the direction that it's facing, but hey, I'm not a developer, whatever. Back underneath, we're going to go with a gearbox. Not there. Okay. Vertical and a vertical. Bring these up. No, that's not going to work. What if we did 3 regular gearboxes in the middle, and then a sideways vertical one, pointing into this gearbox and not into this? That's... seems to have worked. Aha! Yes, it has. Excellent. I'm definitely aware this sort of building, right, is very much experimental. There isn't really a fixed way for you to build this kind of workshop. You've just got to kind of go for it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of bringing you along my thought process as I'm putting this all together. Ah, crumbs, I've made this 1 block too far forward. Okay, I've successfully moved it back 1 block. I wanted to do this. I wanted to put like a little bit of a trim between each thing. Ah, I guess they need to be dark oak stairs. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. So, this is the bit I wasn't looking forward to. The bulk smelter. Ugh. God, these things they're actually kind of a pain. Do this in the same way that we've done the sawmill over here. And we're going to go with the double chest here and here with output, input. I always like to try and get my items to flow left to right, kind of like, you know, you're reading a book or something. I don't know how that analogy works. I should... That wasn't even a word. That was like 7 words blended into one. My God. That's pretty good. Alright, so just while I'm thinking about this, I've just pulled the wall back so it's level with the chests here, but I may push that back out in future. Let's see, what do we got? So, we've got our fans pointing upwards, 1 block between them and the belt. And I think we're going to hook these up with a chain drive, so they're all facing the same direction. And we'll grab the power from... I mean, we got this gearbox over here that I never ended up using. So, sure, we'll grab it from here. Actually, that kind of works out. So we'll bring this over, and then a vertical gearbox. Oh, and they're blowing upwards. Even better, I don't even have to reverse the direction. Look at that. Perfect. Oh, it's going the right way as well. It's all worked out perfect. Of course, we need to set up a filter. And what you can do, if you have JEI installed, you can actually click and drag like this, and it will put it in. Of course, you can manually do it with an item, but if you're setting up a filter, right, and you don't want to go through and collect all those items, you can just click and drag them. You can make an entire storage system filtered without collecting a single block. It's mad. Anyway, we just pop that in the filter slot, and we put that cobblestone back in, and you'll see it's now going to sit here until it's smelted. Except I forgot to put the lava in. I knew I forgot something. Oh yeah, now is probably a good time to mention that you're going to want to turn off the do fire tick. There we go. You're probably going to want to turn off do fire tick, otherwise, you know, things aren't going to go well for your building if you're using wood. Ooh, and then lastly is the crushing wheel. Now, I've kind of caused myself a problem here because the other building was 5 blocks wide, and a crushing wheel ideally needs a 3 block wide space to function. And because I've connected it to here, and this is on a 2 block center, I've kind of made this hard on myself. I guess we could do the crushing wheel vertically, so we have it run underground and have the wheels like this, and then they spit out. They go through like this. That could work, but there's not a huge amount of space down here. Let's see if I can work this out, maybe? Yeah.
1 hour later.
And just like that, a pretty stylish crushing wheel. So let's test it out. So throw some gold ore in here. So we should start seeing it spews out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's amazing, actually. I'm really pleased with that. That looks so cool. Oh, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything you need for a workshop here. We've got a crushing wheel, we've got a sawmill, we've got our blaze burner mixers and presses. We've got a nice smelter. And yeah, so we're just going to make this thing look nice. And with the rest of the building complete, I've not done too much. I've just gone around, I've done the same wall design as before with our layered and cut granite bricks in the corners, bricks and granite for the walls, deep slate tile edging on the roof, and then some dark oak planks in the actual roof piece. Roof piece? No, I can't use my words. Dark oak planks in the middle of the roof. There we go. I can't speak today. And yeah, so I've just kind of gone around, done some moss and some leaves and some little bushes around the edges, kind of cleaned up the landscaping, made sure everything looked nice. Ooh, I could put a nice pond and bridge here. Perhaps. But I think this kind of concludes this little double-parted thing. I know this one was less of a tutorial and more of just kind of like a showcase of me kind of working it out as I was building, because that's the point I kind of want to get across, is that when you're building a workshop, it's kind of how you want it. You know, everybody does different things with this mod. I like to have a nice quick workshop. Other people, they might not care so much. They might be only in Create for some parts, but not others. So, kind of what I want you to take away from this is just do what you feel. You know, tutorials are amazing, and I love making them. However, there is always a portion of creative liberty to take whenever you're following something like this. So make sure to join my Discord, and I'll take a look at some of the stuff that you guys build, because I'm definitely wanting to see more people using the Create mod. I think it's incredible, and I can't wait to see what everybody else does with it. But like I said, that's going to do it for this video. I think I'm going to make this as a world download little starter save for you guys. So if you want it, check out the link in the description, and definitely join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll figure it out.